Well, hello everybody. Danny and Wanda back from Pecan Grove. We're sitting out here by the Blacktop Road, waiting on the next big surprise at Pecan Grove. It's supposed to be here any minute. We're kind of anxious for it to get here. It's been on order for quite a while now, and I think you guys are going to be shocked when you see it, because you're going to say, what in the world is he doing now?
Well, the cows are curious. It's wrapped up real well.
Yeah, and you know this stuff right here, what's on our greenhouse door.
So if you wouldn't tear it up, we could use it.
Tore up if I can help it. Yeah, we have to save this right here now. This is some good stuff here.
That's a good cover for plants and stuff.
It is. That's a really good
right.
cover for plants and stuff like that.
I guess they still have no idea.
Probably not.
Got two nice wheels up there. At least it has wheels.
It's two pretty good sized wheels right there. Now that's got a zip tie that didn't even get zip tied. Watch out now. Here we go.
I know what this is, and I'm still having trouble figuring out what it's supposed to be doing.
All right.
It don't look nothing like the old ones.
Nope. It don't look nothing like the old one. I got these babies.
I didn't want them to come out.
They got them crammed down in there.
This is a weird looking contraption, I'm just going to tell you.
Yeah.
And this side even looks weird. Y'all figured it out yet?
This side here looks kind of a little funked up, but this here is
We got to get all the packing stuff off.
I gotta get wire cutters and cut all that off of there. My lineman pliers and get that cut. I like the fact that they set the frame down on here. Got these blocks in here. That's really nice, because it ain't gonna move in any direction. They've got it pretty much set down on that pallet pretty good. Alright, we'll bring this over here. I don't know if these are lock nuts. If they are, it means I gotta unscrew the whole thing. I get some bolts, nuts, washers.
An angle iron.
An angle iron.
New pallet.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised it's not metric. It's actually standard bolts. I mean, I'm always needing that
One
stuff.
down, 3 more to go. And this is why we have this?
This is why we have the
It's picking the pallet and all up. Okay. Make sure it ain't attached to something, because on the other side it's got some welded parts. Make sure them pieces are loose.
It makes it look like.
Yeah, they just got to come out of there.
Well, it showed picking it up by this. I mean, so.
It's got 2 of those. It's just slow go. Lift up. There is daylight under there. See, I can hold it out of the way as long as that's holding it.
Huh?
I said, I'm a strong woman. One hand, as long as that's got it.
Yeah. Good Lord.
And now that's a pallet.
That's a solid oak pallet right there. Well, I like that hairpin. You don't make them like that, hardly. I don't know which hole it goes in, so let's see if we can figure out where they're at even. Well, there's one.
Go down some, so it's got plenty of room to keep that rake off of it.
Yeah. There
it went.
Now.
All right, one tire.
One wheel on.
Turn.
Oh, okay, I see the bolt goes through that hole right there.
You gotta get the hole lined up.
I wonder what was going to keep it from running out on the thing here. Okay. I'll tighten it up in a minute as long as I get it. I learned online watching a gentleman. He originally put his in this bolt hole out here and he said, nope, don't do that. He said, do not do that. Makes it wider, but it's not stable, he said. Yeah. My
First time using your hoist.
Yeah, I'm really proud. I mean, it's a really heavy one, heavy duty one here. It don't move much when you do it because it's a heavy duty one. But it moves real slow. Tell it ain't been used, still got grease all over it. Not that bad to move.
On concrete.
Yeah, on concrete it works really, really well. Alright guys, we finally got this thing unboxed here. Hadn't got it all put together, but we got the wheels on it. We've been here at Pecan Grove now, 2 years. The first year we were here, I bought an old square baler that's sitting under the oak trees up here. And we baled, we baled hay with it. I've got the old New Holland hay rake. I've rebuilt it up there. And I told Wanda, I said, at our age, running around picking up square bales for the cows is just not feasible. We're only getting older, we're not getting younger. So I went online and done a lot of research, And I really didn't want I've got a 25 horsepower tractor, and I didn't want to try to buy one of these big old round balers that makes the 4 foot by 5 foot bales or the 5 by 6 bales, or, you know. They were like $30,000 to $40,000 a piece, and that was just for the baler. That wasn't for the rakes or anything like that. I just couldn't see it. And I told Wanda, I said, you know, we're probably going to bale more hay than we're going to use. And I said, there's so many small homesteads that have goats and sheep and small cows like the Dexters, like we got, rabbits, this type of stuff, that what we should do is we should invest in one of these miniature balers. Now this thing will bale pine straw, it will bale, I mean, they told me all kind of stuff. But we thought about it, and if we get more bales than we're going to need, there's lots of small homesteads and suburban type people that have rabbits and different things, or people that just got 1 or 2 goats or something. They don't need the big giant bales because they don't have equipment to handle them. So I made a phone call to, after doing some research, they make about 3 or 4 different brands of these type of balers, and this one here seemed to have the best reviews. The IBEX, the TX31 seemed to have the best reviews of all of them. Now, I called the company, you know, and I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to tell you the honest to goodness truth. I called the company and asked them, is there any way they would work with a YouTube channel or anything like this? And, you know, I was looking for maybe a code if somebody wanted to be able to buy one, maybe for a little bit of a discount if we showed it. The answer was no. We had to, you know, I had to pay full price for everything. It wasn't like I was giving anything. So those of you who think we get this stuff for free, we don't. I'm not saying there's not YouTube channels out there that they have worked with, and I'm not saying they won't ever work with me in the future. But at this point, it was a no. So we still wanted it. We went in and we purchased it. Now, not only we didn't get just the hay baler, because see, this has a 3-point hitch system right here that hooks up to the tractor right here. And I am not comfortable with a hay baler being right against the back end of my tractor. So they make a tow bar system that goes with this with a longer drive shaft, which the drive shaft is laying right here. This way it puts it like 4 foot behind my tractor. I can see the teeth grabbing the hay and all that kind of stuff, because unlike the square baler that you drive and your hay is out, the hay roll is out beside you, with this, you straddle it. And the hay comes right under the bottom of the tractor and goes into the fingers there that picks it up and puts it in here. That is one reason I did not want it right against the back of my tractor. I preferred to have it out at about 4 foot behind me. Now, putting it right against the back of the tractor does have some benefits. If you're in a small confined area and you get to the end of the row, you can take and lift your lift up and pick it up, spin around, set it right back down, and go again, you know. Where if you have the tow bar, you can't do that. You have to make a loop and come back around. But we're in pretty good sized fields, so we're not too much worried about that. Another reason I wanted one of these was with my big square baler, it sits 6 feet out to the side of me out here, and there are a few trees around in our pastures, and it makes it a little bit difficult knowing just how close you're going to get to those trees and not hit a tree or something to that nature. You can't get into very tight spots with it. With this, I can get right up into tight places with it, go right beside trees and stuff like that, because it's no wider than my tractor is. If my tractor clears it, this will clear it. So, in a subcompact tractors like I have, the 25 horse and the 26 horse Kubotas will pull this without any problem whatsoever. I mean, my 25 horsepower pull that giant square baler without any problem. Now, I do have the New Holland hay rake that's about 12 feet wide that that I'm not going to be able to use it now. Even though I've rebuilt it, I'm going to have to sell it along with the square baler. And I bought the 2-wheel hay rake that matches the IBEX here, because you can't have too large of a roll of hay going up under here, because it'll only pick up so much at a time. And the other one makes such a big wide thing of hay, when you roll it up, it would be too much for this going in here. So I bought the 2-wheel one that goes with this right here. And it'll have to be put together. We'll show that a little bit later. And right now, I've got to get the instructions out. This much I saw online, and I knew what to do to get it to this point. But there are no videos online that shows what the rest of those parts are for there, and what you do with them and all that kind of stuff. Now with this one, I will say this, they do have a rope system that there's a buzzer that goes off in here when it gets full. And when this buzzer goes off, this back, you have a rope and you pull this back up on it and let it back down. I am going to be in a cab tractor, so I can't put a rope in the cab tractor. So I opted to get the electronic one. Now inside this lid right here is a battery box right here. It's magnetized. It sticks to that. This thing, you lift it up right here, and there is a battery inside this right here, and you have a little A-B remote here. A opens the door on the back, B lets it down. So that's inside here. The battery has to be charged, I'm pretty sure. And everything is magnetized right here. If I can get it here where it just snaps on there with a magnet. Your hay twine runs right here beside it. It's enclosed in here, so you don't have to worry about dust and dirt and all that getting in here. So what happens is, when this lever here comes up right here, this lever is going to come up here. And when it gets to the red, you're going to hear a buzzer go, or a horn go, pop! And when it does that, you're going to take your clicker, and because I have it electrically operated now with this battery in here, it is going to automatically lift the back up on it and let the back down on it once it puts the twine on it. So I had to have that with a cab tractor, because I can't pull the rope on it in a cab tractor. I have to have the electronic button. Now there are a lot of adjustments over here on this side right here. We'll talk about them later when we get a little bit deeper into it. I'm not going to go into that just yet. Right now we're just doing an unboxing, and we're going to be showing what, how to get the arm up out of here, what all these individual parts are. Like right here this is the rope that I was telling you about. It'll fasten to a lever that'll be back here that will flip this up and flip it back down. So we're not going to be using that on this one, but it does actually come in the kit. Guys, I got to get the instructions. I got to go in the house. It's supper time. It's late in the evening. I got to read the instructions. Don't want to just go tearing into something without knowing. And then I'll come back out here and I will show whatever else I got to put on here in this video. Now remember, this is the IBEX TX31. It's a mini hay baler. I can make the bales in a range of sizes. I think they're going to end up being like 20-something inches in diameter by 20-something inches long, which will run around 40 pounds, depending on how tight I wind them, because there's adjustments in there for all of that. We'll talk about that at a later date. We'll take a look in here. Because see, this is my first time looking in it along with you. I do know that this spool right here, you have a couple of different settings on it. If you put it on the smaller one, you get fewer wraps of string. I wanted it on the larger one. That way I get more wraps of string on the bale. And there's multiple adjustments in here to adjust the tension, how tight you want the bale, how big you want the bale, all that kind of stuff is in here. I need to be able to read the book in order to know more about what's actually going on inside these doors. Now over here on this side, the one thing you'll notice on this side right here is this right here is where you'll have a shear pin. Should you get in a bind and lock the hay baler up, it will shear the pin, and up here you have them, up here you have spares. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you got 8 chances to mess up, 9 counting that one right there. And there's some grease fittings in here we need to grease, but now while I got this open, let me say something. Don't ever take a power washer or anything like that and wash all this off in here. I know it's tempting, but don't do it. The company recommended using a leaf blower to come in here, and when you get through baling hay, blow all this stuff out of here, clean it up with a leaf blower. Don't spray water all up in here on all this stuff. You need to keep it as dry as possible. All right, I'm fixing to go grab a bite to eat, get fixing to be dark. We'll read the book, and we'll be back in a YouTube second. All right, this morning I got up. This is the next morning. I came out and started unboxing everything else that they had sent with what I ordered. And in the thing here, I found us 2 Tractor Tool Direct hats. One for me and Ms. Wanda. 2 shirts for us. Thank you, Tractor Tool, for that. A catalog. I'm actually interested in looking at the catalog. And in the box here was 2 more rolls of the hay baling twine. So thank you for that. It may come with it. I don't know. Doesn't ask. This is the drawbar system that came with it. They sent me a new drawbar. You
had to buy this separate, right?
Yeah. I had to buy it. I mean, this is the drawbar kit that I bought extra to go with it. There's the drawbar. There is the drive shaft. Now, everything I've read says that the tractor that I choose to use this hay baler behind with this drawbar system, I may have to cut the drive shaft to length, which that ain't no big deal. And of course, this is, good Lord, this here is the drawbar that goes with it. Behind it, and then this is the chain and the kit system that goes with that to all hook it up. And in a little while, we'll bring the tractor in here that I'm going to be using to hook it up to so that we can make all the adjustments. It says to do it on level ground. So I'm going to back the other tractor up in here and do that. But now, before you use this hay baler, there's some things that you cannot do before you use it, and I want to show you a few of them. Okay, do not use this behind a tractor to bale hay until you first set this arm right here. If you reach and grab this arm and it don't move, it is not ready to use behind the tractor. Right here, there's a lever sitting right here. You see that lever right there? Okay, before you use this, if this arm is down and it's locked right there, don't go running your hands around through here because there's a razor blade right there. There's a cutter that cuts that string right there. That razor blade will split you wide open, so don't get onto that. But if this is locked and it won't pick up, don't jerk on it or anything like that. Come out here. Sometimes you have to take the hay baling string loose. I've got mine loose enough that it'll turn. Turn this clockwise. Mash this lever right here. There's a lever right here. Mash that. Start turning this clockwise like this. And what happens is, you see there's an arm right here. This arm right here will begin to rise. And when that arm begins to rise, you'll see it there. It's rising. Slowly but surely, it's rising. And when it gets beyond a certain point, you see that pop that happened? Now, you can grab this and you pull it all the way over. And then you bring it back. You pull this down. You want about 12 inches hanging out here. Now, don't get any more than 12 inches hanging out here, because if you do, while these rollers are rolling right here and you're baling, it'll grab this and suck it down in there and start winding string around it. So make sure it's 12 inches. I'll probably cut just a little bit off of that one, but I've had to pull some out here to show y'all. And there's all kinds of tension adjusters on this and everything. Now, also, there's lots of little grease fittings on this thing. There's an Alamite here, or Zerk. Some people call them Zerk. We call them Alamites. They're all over this thing. There's one up here. You want to make sure you put like 1 pump of grease in this, because you don't want to run this stuff dry. And there's all kind of tension adjusters on here for the different kinds of hay baling twine that you use. if you're going to use, guys, I strongly suggest getting their hay baling twine to use. I got a pile of it over there. I got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, probably 9 or 10 rolls of it. It goes right here. Now you can technically put 2 of these in here. You can put one here and one over here. And when you do, you have to find the end of the one roll and you have to tie it to the beginning of this one. But now you can't tie a big knot in it, because if you do, it goes through here, it'll get hung up in all the stuff and it won't feed itself through all these little rollers like this if you do the knot. So what I always do is unroll the string and I tie half of it in a knot here, and I come down here and tie half of it in a knot here. That way it's smaller as it goes through all those little parts. Even on my regular hay balers, I did that. So I wanted to show y'all on this right here. Now this is ready to bale hay now. If you're not going to be baling any hay and you're going to be putting it into storage, and you don't want to just leave it sticking up here and you're afraid something will hit it, you come over here to that lever I showed you a while ago, and you take your thumb, and that releases it, and it lets this lay back down in here, and it's completely out of your way. Now, before you use your hay baler, what you have to do is go ahead and hook this thing up to the tractor with the drawbar and system and all on it, and you're going to have to adjust these fingers right here. These fingers right here, you want them to be 1 inch. When this finger turns around, I'd have to turn it with a PTO, I reckon. I'd have to use the tractor to turn it, and let these fingers, you want them 1 inch from the bottom of that finger off of the soil once it's hooked up to the tractor. So that, and the way to do that is you release it right here, and that allows that to drop down, and then you put this chain in whichever link it is that holds that 1 inch off the ground. That is if you're baling good quality hay. And then don't forget, once you get it hooked up to the tractor, to pull this pin out and slide this wheel up and put it back in here, because if you take off, you're going to fold that thing up and bend it back there behind you. We'll show more in detail when we hook it up to the tractor. I'll get a little bit more detailed with it. But now also, these reservoirs, you want to take this off of here. You want to take your flashlight and you want to look down in there and see if you see oil, which I do. I see it right now without even having a flashlight. You see the reflection in there? That's oil down in there. I guess if I could find a fault with this thing, there is no. This is a hydraulic oil. There's no way to check if it's full of hydraulic oil. I mean, they even say so in the literature. There's no way to check other than just pour some in there and look and see if you see it. Now, one thing you want to look at on these balers is your chain tension. You want to find a place that's got a long span, like in between it there is a long span. You don't want, now right now it's really tight, but when you go to running this thing, it's not going to take but just a few trips around the field, and that chain's going to stretch. And if you don't make sure that these tension is right, like so I can still move that a little bit, if it gets to be too slack in there, what you're going to do is you're going to wear these pulleys out right here. And you don't want to have to be changing pulleys out. What you do is you got a tensioner here. You can adjust the tension on those chains to make sure that, now you got a tension adjuster here, and there'll be one in the back yonder on the back part of it back there. You want to make sure your tension is always good. Okay, guys, don't ever test your horn with this down, because if you do, you will regret it. I promise you. I'm not speaking from experience on that. First, you take your battery out, and your battery right here, this is your battery. There's a switch on your battery right here. When you turn that battery off, see all those lights right there? They go off. When you turn it on, that tells you the condition of your battery right now. My battery's fully charged.
This is your little...
This is my keypad here that I used from in the tractor. Because my thought was, am I going to be able to hear this in a cab tractor? You know, I was like... I'm
backing up.
This one's backing up there. And there's a little lever right here. Let me show you this lever right here. Right up here, when this thing comes in, when this thing here comes in contact with this here, the horn goes off. I'm gonna move it with my finger because I can control it with my finger. But now let's take a listen and see if you think you could hear this. I think we could pretty much hear that. So let's turn that back off. The videos that I've watched says if you don't stop instantaneously, then what happens is this thing will keep winding up too tight, and then your bale will be too tight inside here and you can't get your bale out of it. So, and it does tell you how to get the bale out. It tells you how to manually take the bale out and everything like that. And guys, I'm not a how-to video on this, but what I will tell you is this. If you want to know in-depth detail about each individual part of this thing, go over to IBEX YouTube channel, and they have every little detail of this thing, you know, pretty much where you can understand it. Actually, I'm going to just be honest with you. Don't pay attention to this rod right here, because if you pay attention to that rod, you could overfill it. Listen for the horn. The horn is not going to lie, because when this thing drops down right here, it's going to go off and it's going to make a loud noise. And every time you go to use this hay baler, before you ever start, if you have to put a new string in it, or if you have to quit baling with it for a while and you go back to start baling again, every time reset this string arm right here. Because if you don't, and it happens to be in a certain position and is not in the right position, your first bale is just going to be a mess. You're going to lose your first bale. So, and then every bale after that may not be in time. So you want to make sure you time this thing with this. Guys, lying in front of me here is a project for another day. I actually went ahead and ordered the two-wheel hay rake. I actually purchased this separately here because I wanted to use a different kind of hay rake. I wanted one that actually matched this baler here. So this is the IBEX TM51 hay rake right here. I've got to put it together. That will be another video, because actually I could not find a video online showing how to put this together. One thing IBEX did was they sent a bunch of extra parts. Here's an extra thing that makes the horn go off. Some extra fiber washers that goes in the slip clutch on it. Some extra spring teeth that go underneath it if you happen to bend or break some of them. And here's some extra pieces of the metal that goes underneath the bottom. These spring teeth go in between it like this when they're picking up the hay. You know, I guess in case you hit something and bend one of these, they sent some extra ones of them. The screws to put it all on with. Guys, I'll be honest with you, I never expected that. That's a blessing right there now. And I also got a bunch of rolls of extra string there. Twine to bale the hay with, because like I told you, I'm not sure about if I get the right kind here at the local places like Tractor Supply or something. I'm not sure if what I'd get here would give me fits trying to operate the tractor. To me, it was worth it while I had this coming to just go ahead and get a bunch of them while I had them coming. Yeah, now we're not going to be baling hay for probably another couple, 3 weeks, because the ryegrass is just now up about 10 inches deep, and it's still got to put the seeds on and go, you know, on to the end of the process. But I am going to go ahead and hook the tractors all up to everything. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to try to adjust as much stuff on it as I can. And as I do that, I am going to be showing you guys the adjustments that I make, and showing you how I have it set up, so that if you want to purchase one of these, I don't have a code or nothing, you know. I'm sorry about that, but I'll show you everything I can show you if you wanted to ever purchase one of these to use on a small farm. These are ideal for, like, if you got 2 or 3 cows or some goats or something like that, and you own like maybe 10 acres or you may 15 acres and you need to bale your own hay or something other. I think this is the way to go, really. Can't complain about it yet. I guess we'll know when we get out in the field and get it going. I've been kind of tinkering around here with this. This being a Kubota 2610, I realized it's got a tremendous amount of ground clearance under the bottom of it. So that throwed everything off kilter here. So I put the drawbar on, just like it said. I hooked the tow bar up here. The drive shaft, I put it in just like it said to do. Now, you're supposed to have 3 inches from the drive shaft to the bottom of the pin, which I do, once the chain is locked in. Now, the chain is way too short for this tractor, so I'm going to have to go to town. I'm going to have to get a chain another foot longer than this one, because this clevis is supposed to hook in this hole right here, and they're supposed to be side by side, and it's supposed to just come down and make a loop right here. So I did find that, and it's let down. I mean, it's tight right there. Now, one of the other things I did notice, let me come around to that side and I'll show you. The paperwork states that the fingers under the bottom need to be 1 inch off of the ground. Well, in order to achieve that, you have to let this down. And then this chain right here, I have it adjusted where it's just lightly holding right here. And the fingers are 1.5 inches. 1.5 inches is the best I could do on that. Let me show you what had to happen here. Because this tractor is a lot higher, I had to undo this bolt right here and run it almost all the way in, because this is what picks everything up and down under the bottom of it down there for the ground clearance down yonder. So I had to do that. Well, when I did, the spring right here was too strong and it kept holding it up, wouldn't let it go down, so I had to come back here, say some adjustment nuts here, and I've adjusted it almost all the way to the end out here. I got like 1/2 inch left I can go. And it's finally got down. I mean, it's not 1 inch from the ground. It's probably about 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches. But that's probably as close as I'm going to be able to get safely on that, because I had to make that adjustment. And that's for using in the field. Now, when you're on the road, now this is kind of because I had to adjust that spring. That means I got to stretch that spring a whole lot more than what I did have, be able to keep it for road use. Now,
we don't intend to take it on the road.
No, we don't want to take it on the road. And I kind of just temporarily got this hooked here so the plastic don't just keep spinning around on that and get something wound up in it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to crank it up. Because this tractor has so many safety features in it, I can't get out of the seat, because if I do, with the PTO going, it's going to go dead on me. But I'm going to sit in the tractor, and I'm going to operate it where you can see the tines turning, the drive shaft working, and I'm going to lift the back up and down on it with the remote. Now the remote has to be programmed for the distance from the baler. So I had to get in the cab of the tractor and program it for in there, because if I programmed it out here, it won't work in there because of the distance. Now I'm going to let this back down. Down as low as it'll go. Okay, I've tried my best to show you a few things that you don't need to do, or that you do need to do, shall I say, before you bale hay. You don't just need to just buy this thing, hook all this stuff up, and just run out there in the field with it and just start trying to bale hay with it. There are adjustments that really need to be made for it to be efficient. All tractors are different. Like this one being so high off the ground, this thing was actually meant for this bar to be a lot lower so that the angle was different and the fingers would have been a lot closer to the ground. But luckily, I guess they prefigured all that for the adjustments on it, so I was able to make all those adjustments. The drive shaft, luckily on this one, the drive shaft was long enough to fit, but if your drive shaft is too short, the company does say you can cut the drive shaft off to fit your tractor. So always make sure you got the drive shaft is right for the tractor you're going to be pulling the baler with. This is the only tractor I'm going to be pulling the baler with. So all the adjustments are made for this particular tractor. And the reason for that is I'll be cutting it with a cub farm awl because people just like to see the sickle bar on the cub cutting the grass. I'll be fluffing it with my 25 horsepower tractor. That's a Kubota. And I will be baling it with this 2610 with the cab on it because when I get ready to bale it, it's got to be in the middle of the day when it's probably the hottest, where the grass is the driest, and it's usually like 100 degrees outside when that's going on. So I'll be in a cab. The dust off of the hay won't be bothering me. The heat won't be bothering me. I've got an air-conditioned cab I can get in, and I can actually bale my hay in a little bit more comfortable conditions. Now, everybody's going to go, yeah, but you got to turn around and go pick it back up. Well, the reason I went with this is because this tractor, I have a grapple on the front of it, and the hay is round, the grapple is round, so I can pick the bales up very easily and set them onto a trailer and take them to a barn where I can unload them whenever where it's convenient for me. So very little hand moving of the bales. Everything else is done with equipment. Now we didn't do the horn going and all that kind of stuff because we're not going to be. That's only to be done when it's baling hay. I did show you the back opening and shutting with the remote. And I'm trying to think. I think I've showed you just about every adjustment that you probably want to make. Now there is 2 adjustments on the wheels. You can set them further out. I don't recommend it because the bracing under the bottom of it just looks a little bit flimsy to me to set it way out on the end like that. I moved mine in because it felt like it had a little bit more support. And 2, by moving them in, it doesn't make it wider than my tractor is. Now we do have on our property a lot of pine timber. Should I ever in the future want to bale the pine straw out from under it in the fall when it falls, then I can get close enough because the baler is as wide as the tractor is. As long as I can get a tractor around the tree, the baler will go around the trees, and I can get the pine straw, and I can actually bale bales of pine straw if somebody wanted them, and we can clean the property up that way also. So there's another way of using the tractor. So guys, this is about all that I know that I need to show you on this particular video about hooking it up. Now I'm going to take it out and drive it around. The one thing that I'm a little concerned about is it said to put this clevis right next to the hole in this. I'm a little concerned when this drawbar goes around that way. Is it going to try to pinch it, or should this be off over here one more? You know, that's something I want to be able to watch through the window here to see if it looks like it's going to try to shear something off right here. Because I want to take it out and drive it around, pull it just a little bit. And
you are getting a new chain.
Yes,
so.
I'm going to get a new chain, one that's longer, where it'll work out. I don't know why they sent one that short. Because all the pictures I seen where they hooked the chains up, they had several links still hanging down. So I don't know if that was just a mistake or if the other tractors are just that little. I don't know. One last thing I'd like to say is I'd like to say thank you to Tools Direct. The packaging on this was phenomenal. It arrived, not a scratch on it nowhere. I mean, it was in perfect condition when it got here. It was packaged very well. They were very easy to work with, and with the financing programs that they use through the agricultural department and all the financing was really, really good on it. Was no problems with that. They were very informational. When I had a question about something, they were able to answer it up front. I will be working with them in the future if everything goes okay, because there are some other products that I wanted for the farm here, and I would, because of the way they've worked with me on this, I probably would go back to working with Tools Direct, and I'd just like to thank them for taking the time that they did, because I asked a lot of questions. You know, I mean, I was probably one of those kind that probably asked more questions than the normal person, but I felt like it was necessary, and they had no problem with that. They were very easy to work with. And it came packaged very well. I was very excited about that. So, guys, I'm fixing to take it out and drive it around. Check out this right here and a couple of other things I'm looking for. And I'm going to get ready to make another video about putting that hay rake together here before long. So hang around, keep watching, and we'll show you how that thing turns out. And if everything goes all right, Lord willing, weather holds out and the grass keeps growing, probably in a month, I will be baling hay. You're going to get to see the old Cub Farm all sickle bar going. The hay rake are working. I've never run one of those kind of hay rakes. The only kind of hay rakes I ever run is the old kind like I've got. That's going to be a learning curve for me. This is going to be a learning curve for me, but I think we can do it. Thank you guys from Pecan Grove.